Welcome aboard, everyone. You're tuned into Brainytainment, your ultimate guide to learning with fun. Here at Brainytainment, we're all about making education entertaining, engaging, and above all, effective. We believe that learning shouldn't be a chore, but a journey of discovery, one that's as enjoyable as it is enlightening. Our mission? To provide you with the tools, techniques, and insights you need to unlock your full learning potential. Today, we're going to delve into a topic that I'm sure many of you will find fascinating: how to learn anything fast. Yes, you heard it right. We're going to explore the strategies and methods that can help you accelerate your learning process. Whether you're trying to pick up a new language, master a musical instrument, or even get a grip on quantum physics. Without further ado, let's dive into the realm of accelerated learning. First things first, understanding the science of learning is crucial. Dive into the fascinating world of your brain where every new skill, every piece of knowledge, and every memory takes root. This isn't some abstract concept, it's a tangible biological process. Our brains are constantly learning, rewiring, and adapting. This is all thanks to a remarkable phenomenon known as neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity, in layman's terms, is your brain's ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections throughout life. It's a bit like a city that's always under construction, building new roads, bridges, and pathways to keep everything connected. This ongoing process allows the neurons in the brain to compensate for injury and disease and to adjust their activities in response to new situations or changes in the environment. When you learn something new, your brain changes. New connections are made, old ones are strengthened or even pruned away if they're no longer needed. These changes aren't random, though. They're driven by your experiences and the things you repeatedly think about and do. That's where repetition and practice come into play. Repetition and practice are to learning what hammer and nails are to a carpenter. They're the fundamental tools that embed knowledge into your brain. When you practice a new skill or revise information repeatedly, you're essentially traveling the same neural pathway over and over again, making it stronger and more efficient each time. It's like carving a path through a dense forest. The more you walk it, the clearer and easier it becomes to navigate. So next time you're struggling to remember a fact or master a new skill, remember that it's not about intelligence or talent. It's about understanding how your brain works and using that knowledge to your advantage. The science of learning tells us that it's practice and repetition that make perfect, not innate, ability. With a grasp of how our brain learns, we can now explore techniques to learn anything fast. Learning anything fast starts with breaking things down. Now, this might sound like a tall order, especially when you're faced with a mountain of information. But there's a simple and effective technique to help you conquer any topic, no matter how complex it may seem. This technique is known as chunking. Picture it like this. Instead of trying to swallow an apple whole, you'd naturally cut it into slices. Similarly, chunking is about dividing information into bite-sized pieces that are easier to digest. It's about turning a dense textbook into a series of understandable chapters or converting a complicated equation into a set of simpler steps. The beauty of chunking is that it allows your brain to process information more efficiently. By focusing on one chunk at a time, you're able to understand and remember the material more effectively. So the next time you're faced with a daunting learning task, remember to break it down. Chunking makes learning manageable and less overwhelming. Scene script. Next up is one of the most effective learning techniques, known as the Feynman technique. Named after the Nobel laureate physicist Richard Feynman, this technique is a pinnacle of learning through teaching. The Feynman technique is elegantly simple, yet profoundly effective. It is based on the premise that if you can't explain something in simple terms, then you don't understand it well enough. This technique forces you to break down complex concepts into plain, digestible chunks that anyone could understand, even a 5-year-old. Imagine you're learning about the theory of relativity. It's a complex subject filled with abstract concepts and mathematical equations. You might read about it, watch videos, and feel like you've got a good grasp on it. But can you explain it to someone else in a simple, clear, and concise manner? If not, then you might not understand it as well as you think. Now let's apply the Feynman technique. First, you would pretend to teach the concept to a child or someone unfamiliar with the subject. You'll immediately notice where your understanding falls short as you struggle to explain certain parts. This is where the second step comes in. Go back to your source material, fill in the gaps in your understanding, and simplify your explanation further. The third step is to organize your thoughts and create a narrative. This doesn't mean coming up with a fairy tale. It's about creating a logical flow of ideas that build upon each other, making the concept easier to understand. And finally, the fourth step is to simplify and analogize. If your explanation is still complex, find ways to simplify it further. Use analogies and metaphors to relate the concept to something familiar. The beauty of the Feynman technique is that it doesn't just help you understand a concept, it helps you understand it deeply. You're not just memorizing information, you're internalizing it. You're transforming abstract ideas into concrete knowledge. The Feynman technique ensures you truly understand a concept, not just memorize it. So, next time you're struggling with a complex topic, give the Feynman technique a try. It might just revolutionize the way you learn. Practicing what you've learned is a critical step in learning anything fast. Delving into the world of practice, we find that it's not just about repetition, but about engaging with the material in a meaningful way. The more we practice, the more we reinforce the neural pathways in our brain that are responsible for the skills or knowledge we're trying to acquire. So, how do you do this effectively? Let's explore two powerful techniques: active recall and spaced repetition. Active recall is the process of actively trying to remember information. It's like flexing your memory muscle. When you read a paragraph in a book, instead of simply rereading it to reinforce the information, try to recall it from memory. This forces your brain to work harder and form stronger memory connections. On to spaced repetition. Imagine trying to carve a path through a dense forest. If you walk the path once, it's likely to disappear quickly, but if you walk it again and again over a period of time, the path becomes clear and easy to follow. That's the idea behind spaced repetition. Revisiting information at increasing intervals helps to embed it into your long-term memory. Now, these techniques won't make learning effortless. In fact, they'll probably make it harder. But remember, the aim of practice isn't to make things easy, it's to make them familiar. It's about struggling, making mistakes, and then learning from those mistakes. The beauty of practice lies in its ability to transform the unfamiliar into the familiar, the difficult into the doable. So, next time you're trying to learn something new, don't shy away from the challenge. Embrace it. Use active recall and spaced repetition to your advantage. Make mistakes, stumble, get back up, and remember, the more you practice, the better you get. Remember, practice isn't about getting things right, it's about getting things wrong and learning from it. Healthy habits can significantly boost your learning abilities. Let's delve into this a bit more. Good sleep, regular exercise, and a healthy diet are not just fancy buzzwords. They are the cornerstone of optimal brain function and learning. Consider sleep as your brain's time to reboot. When you're well rested, your brain is more alert and ready to absorb new information. It's during sleep that our brain processes and consolidates what we've learned during the day. So a good night's sleep is essential. Now let's talk about exercise. Regular physical activity increases blood flow to your brain, enhancing its activity and memory retention. Even a brisk walk can work wonders. Lastly, a healthy diet fuels your brain. Consuming a balanced diet rich in fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, and whole grains provides the nutrients necessary for your brain to function at its best. Healthy habits create an optimal environment for your brain to learn and remember. So let's make the most of our learning journey by keeping ourselves healthy. Before we sign off, let's quickly recap the steps to learn anything fast. First off, we delved into the science of learning, explaining how our brain absorbs new information and the importance of understanding this process. Then we discussed the value of breaking things down, dissecting complex concepts into more manageable chunks. Remember, it's all about taking one step at a time. Next, we explored the Feynman technique, a proven method that involves teaching a concept to a novice to ensure you've truly mastered it. Following that, we emphasized the importance of practice. As the old adage goes, practice makes perfect, and it's no different when it comes to learning. Finally, we highlighted some healthy habits for effective learning, including adequate sleep, regular exercise, and a balanced diet. All these steps combined will set you on the path to learning anything quickly and effectively. Thank you for joining us on Brainytainment. Don't forget to subscribe for more enlightening videos on learning and more. Until next time, keep learning.